All right. All right, it's Monday afternoon. Just finished up a crazy push workout. A little bit of calves at the end. And we just ate our post-workout meal, and so we're going on our little digestion walk. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about today was mainly just like, man, these last couple weeks have been like, I don't even know how to explain it. Lots of productivity and maybe different areas that I wasn't expecting, but also some areas I need to get better in. And it's just shown me a lot. Like, I feel like I'm in a big growth period as far as like, you know, just learning lessons and going through adversities, but also, you know, getting some shit done, right? But last week, you know, was definitely not one of my most productive weeks. And by productive, I mean, like, I just noticed myself spending way too much time on social media and not getting the things done that I promised myself that I would get done. And some of it's just due to things outside my own control. But some of it's also things that I can control and the amount of effort I'm putting out. I was talking to my buddy about this because, you know, we hold each other accountable when it comes to business and bodybuilding. But with bodybuilding and business, like, they really do go hand in hand, but it seems at times where they can kind of clash into each other. And, it's the horse flies. That's what it is. Damn, I should not have gone shirtless. I'm going to walk faster. It seems like there's sometimes where you can't, like, for example, last week, right? The last couple weeks I've gone into this push phase where we're putting on more muscle, and our goal is to kind of just get up higher in body weight so we can put on more muscle. And obviously, you know, food is up, you know, drugs are also up, and they're in my system. And, you know, it's almost a subconscious thing in my mind where last week I was just like, well, you know, these drugs are in my system, and, you know, last time I did this, it wasn't as productive. I wasn't as productive on my business or anything, but I was able to get a lot of size put on. And the reason it's a horrible way to look at it is because the reality is you can do both. And for me, like, just realizing that last week was huge for me, right? Like, these drugs, these PEDs, they don't control the amount of effort I put out into my business, right? Because if I'm not doing my habits, if I'm not like consistently driven out or on something outside of just bodybuilding, I'm not gonna go as far in bodybuilding as I want to go. And the reason for that being is bodybuilding is a sport where it's very, very individual focused. And if you're not focused on something else that's helping other people, you're not going to be able to develop like your personality and develop yourself to be a genuinely good human. And it's going to long-term prevent you from, you know, going as far as you possibly can because you're so just driven on bodybuilding only. You have to have a life outside of just bodybuilding. You have to have an identity that's outside of just bodybuilding. Because if you don't, you don't stay driven for as long. And what happens if, like, you get an injury and bodybuilding progress slows and you don't have that mentality that you built up and that mindset you've built up to go through adversity, right? Like, you just fall off the face of the earth as far as progress goes. And so for me, realizing that, like, I can't lay off the gas right now when it comes to my business. That was a huge realization moment for me. And if you guys are going through the same like thing when it comes to your business and like your mindset, right? Realize that it's not the drugs that control you. Just because you have a lot of testosterone in your system and you have all these compounds in your system, you should not let go of your habits. Do not. You're going to fall off the face of the earth in bodybuilding. If you want to go far, you have to stay maintained on your habits and be constantly pursuing something outside of bodybuilding. So what does that look like for me, right? After I kind of realized this, what did I start applying? And it's more just like a mindset shift into like focusing as much on my business and providing as much value to people as possible by doing videos like this, by continue the masterclass videos and giving you guys as much free information as possible, because that's what motivates me to keep going, right? By giving, I get more fulfillment, and it drives me long-term to push more, right? You know, there's this thing I realized, you know, I started reading this book. It's called The Motivation Manifesto. Started reading it a couple weeks back. And it really talks about what actually propels motivation. And it's literally the amount of effort that you're putting in. That's what drives motivation. You will have an infinite amount of motivation when you're driving more effort in every single day. And the longer you've been doing it, right? I've been doing this like lifting weights for the last 6 years. I've been bodybuilding for the last 2 years, right? I've built up this foundation, I've built myself this far, right? So why would I stop? I've gone this far. We're just starting to see some good results. And that's what you have to realize is like so many people and bodybuilders will fall off because they don't realize how far they've come, right? I think it's important to every once in a while go back and look at photos of yourself when you started, or photos from yourself like a year ago or 6 months ago even, because the reality is you are changing more than you think you are. Especially if you're watching these videos and you've gotten this far in the video, like I know that you're someone who wants to get better. You're gonna be able to go back and look at the progress from where you came from, and it's gonna drive you further. You're starting to reap those rewards, right? It's delayed gratification. And so I'm delaying my gratification of being the lazy bodybuilder that doesn't go far, right? I'm preventing myself from doing that and delaying my gratification to reap the rewards of my coaching business, to reap the rewards of helping others, to reap the rewards of the motivation I get for how long I've been putting time and effort into this. So when people ask me like how do you balance business with bodybuilding? And it's almost like you have to, right? Like it's if you don't balance both of them and you're not focusing your efforts on both of them, you're not gonna go as far, right? It's like the yin and yang, right? You can't go too far one way without the other. It'll eventually plateau yourself. I mean, my overall reflections on kind of what I'm talking about here, guys, is, you know, bodybuilding is a sport where it's not a sport where you can earn a lot of money. And if you're doing it for money and these other, you know, these worldly factors, and to try to get this clout, this fame from it, you're not going to get that, right? You do bodybuilding because you love it. But I will say this, it's a very expensive sport. I heard this on the podcast the other day. Bodybuilding is a rich man's sport played by poor people. It makes sense, right? And so to be able to play at the highest level, it's not necessarily pay to win, but it kind of is, right? You got to have both, right? You got to develop the mindset, the body, right? Once you develop that and focusing your efforts on the business side, that's going to enable you to go to the next level. And this is a perfect example of this, right? I don't really want to get super in depth with this kind of stuff, but I will for the sake of this example. You know, last week we had a check-in with my coach. Me and my coach had a check-in, and you know, I was asking him about human growth hormone, because we're on 2 IUs right now, and we're just kind of maintaining on that. right? But it is a push phase, and so I was just curious, like, when it's possible to like move up the dosage on that. And his response basically was, make some money, bro. And like, that to me, it wasn't really what I was expecting, but it makes sense, right? I'm at a level where maybe I'm not like plateauing on the mentality aspect or the physical aspect. I'm doing as much as I possibly can there. Where I can grow, it's the business aspect, because that will allow me to bring myself to the next level of bodybuilding, because I can afford more stuff. I can afford higher quality, like GH, higher quality PDs, higher quality food, higher quality of living, to make outside lifestyle factors even better, like a better place to sleep, a better environment, right? Like, when you look at these bodybuilders, there is no one at the Olympia stage who is a broke bodybuilder. These guys are making at least $100,000 a year, if not more. And so that was kind of my realization last week, was just like, I need to focus more on this business side. I can't let go on that side, because that is what's going to bring me to the next level. And it's going to bring you to the next level as well when you start applying yourself on that business aspect. I'm not saying you need to start a business, but you need to figure out a way to become financially free in bodybuilding. Because if you're trying to do this sport at the highest level and you're broke, good luck, man. But I will say this. What's helped immensely is having a group of individuals who around me has helped me like rise to this level and build this mentality up and build my business up, right? People that hold me accountable to my goals. Those are the people that are in my inner circle, and they're helping me, and we're helping each other to get to where we want to be. And it's not just my friends, right? It's my athletes. They hold me accountable at the highest level, and I hold them accountable, and we all hold each other accountable. So get around an environment of people where you're able to surround yourself with those people that are like-minded like yourself, that want to be better at bodybuilding, that want to be better in business, and just go after it. You know, our community is a great community, PR 24/7. We're focused on 1% better each day. So you can shoot me a DM on Instagram if you want to get in contact with me. Otherwise, there should be a link in the description for a one-on-one call that we can get on and talk more about your goals. But other than that, guys, I'm signing off for now. We'll see you guys in the next video. It should be a masterclass video. But yeah, let's go absolutely crush this week, guys. Peace.